Test. Hello. Oh, no.
someone here tonight at Daytona. Go, getting ready to rock and roll. Come on, camera, get up here. As soon as we get the cameras up, we will be on track. So we'll be back here in just a moment. Hopefully everybody's set and ready to rock and roll for some great racing action tonight. All right, here we are. We're here at the racetrack coming out of turn number 2 down that back, or I'm sorry, turn number 4 out of that back stretch. There we got everybody lined up. Sorry we did not get to the grid in time as we are here with lap number something here. 3 of 50. Coming here out of turn number 2. They are side by side being led along by Mark Morton at number 88. Down through the back of the racetrack here. Hopefully everything working here. Try to make sure we got it all set and rock and rolling. Side by side here out of corner number 2 down that back straight, or I'm sorry, out of the corner number 4 down that front tri-oval. That top side looking really good as they work here off of the top. We've got that 38 of Jeff Scott up there in about that 3rd spot back on that high line. Here comes that 01. Look at him. Maybe look make it 3 wide, but he cannot. Up into the outside wall. A little bit of smoke there off of one of the drivers. That was the 7 machine of Justin Hullings there on the top side, getting into that outside wall once again, coming there off of 2. Here comes that Dr. Pepper machine, trying to see what number that is. I want to say that is the 40 of Dakota. It's great. We got the 83 there of Liam Beebe there in front. Side by side. A lot of shaking going on. These are the Arca cars here tonight. As they here off the corner. And I do need the updated logo here for Rough Deck Racing, as I do see that they've updated their logo. So if we can get an updated logo here to Flinker Farm TV, that would be wonderful for the Monday night series as they work here off the corner. Side by side, you got that 23 down there in about 4th spot. Working for 3rd there. He's got Mark Morton there beside him in that 88. Mark Morton trying to get that high side to come alive. Bringing along with him Jeff Scott in that 01 of Levi Williams. Is down there on the inside is Adam Sprinkle in the number 77. As they work here off the corner, heading back out onto the front stretch tri-oval. Drivers just trying to figure out where they want to be. You got that number 21 back there, I believe it is, or 27 of Ryan Hunter. There it is, Ryan Hunter in that number 27 down there on the inside. Whoa, hang on to it. We got somebody that's off grid there, or off the pace. Not sure what happened. Trying to figure out who's falling back. That's Robert Healy down there on the inside. He falls back there. You see the 99. Larry Fairman up there behind the 83, Liam Beebe. They work down through. Mark Morton hanging on to the lead down there on the front side in front of Adam Sprinkle. As he's got that number 12 of Dylan Grace there behind him. Working on down through. All great and dandy so far. Everybody looking good. Here off the corner they go. Down off of turn number 2. Back around onto that back stretch. Side by side. That inside lane got more cars in it, so that outside lane's trying to get something together. This time being led along by Eric White. There in front of Dylan Grace. Mark Morton still hanging on to the bottom side there in front of Adam Sprinkle. Dylan Grace back here for it. Matthew Barker back here in 5th. Jeff Scott 6th. Nathaniel Briner in 7th. Levi Williams in 8th. Gary Miller there in 9th. Now back into 10th as Liam Beebe gets around him there on the outside. Whoa, hang on. We got drivers all over the place there. And more of them going around. Mark Morton there having issues. Pace car is out, coming out. There you see Mark Morton going around. See if we can catch another glimpse of might have transpired here. As they work here off the corner, there you see him down there on the inside. And it just, I don't know, see if we can get a different angle of it here. Looks like the 23 just kind of ends up. We can get a look at it here. Coming here into the tri-oval. The 23 out front kind of gets hooked down across the nose. And more drivers coming down, and oh man, more drivers getting spun around there trying to figure out who that might have been. Eric White was involved. Matt Barker possibly involved. Here we'll see here more. We're going there with Matt Barker as he comes down across into the number 29 of Jimmy Pilon. Well, Jimmy doesn't always have the best of luck at some of these races. So hopefully he can try to get something turned around here. But Pilon definitely struggles in some of the races here at Rough Deck as we've seen in seasons past. And we got caution number 1 on the board here at lap number 8. Now on lap number 9 as they work here onto the backstretch. Dylan Grace out front, Jeff Scott in 2nd, Eric White there 3rd. You got Adam Sprinkle there 4th, Levi Williams there in 5th. And I kind of figured it was just, a matter of time before we saw something like that happen. As hard as some of these drivers are pushing it, and just the movement out of these cars going through the front stretch and around. You can see them cars wiggle and weave. And that's just the nature of the super speedway racing. Now we got all kind of pit roads, a busy place here. Lap number 10, Gary Miller down here, Liam Beebe, Dakota Iskig, Larry Fairman. You got Johnny Hurst in the number 3 coming off. Jeff Scott up here coming out. He's going to be your leader, most likely. Looked like everybody came down pit road. Unsure that we'll see. Robert Ely out on track. There's the Adam Sprinkle coming off pit road along with the 83 Liam Beebe, Levi Williams, Gary Miller, Johnny Hurst, and Larry Fairman, Tim Richardson, Dakota Iskrig. Let me know if that audio sounds all right. Hopefully it does. Trying to make sure it all lines up right. Sounds good. Can hear the cars, can hear me. Adam Sprinkle there in second, Liam Beebe there third, Levi Williams there fourth, Gary Miller back here in fifth. And don't pay attention to those ones that are saying out, as they are out here on the Speedway. Just for some reason, my timing tower likes to label them as out, even though they're not. Jeff Scott out front there now as your leader. Adam Sprinkle second, Liam Beebe there third. Jeff Scott up 24 positions from the start of the race there 10 laps ago. Getting himself up there to be the control car here on this restart. Going to choose the outside lane. That's going to put Adam Sprinkle down there on the inside, along with the 83 behind him. That's Liam Beebe. Lights are out. They're side by side. We're going to get them rocking and rolling here once again for the green flag as they come back around here. Good looking 01 Mobile machine driven by Levi Williams. Heading down that long back straightaway at the moment. There we go, green flag, back in the air, down here into corner number 1 to go. Starting on lap number 12 of the 50 to complete here. Way down there into corner number 1, everybody single files it out. Jeff Scott getting a great start up there on the outside, getting it dropped back down in front of Adam Sprinkle. Liam Beebe there into third with Levi Williams having to fall back there behind him. They're into fourth. I think he's going to try to get a little bit of side draft working there on the top side as they work down through the backstretch. Can't quite get anything as he doesn't have help yet. Little bit of blink out of Levi Williams. Down here into corner number 3 and 4. Side by side back there for about 5th and 6th position between Gary Miller and Larry Fairman. And that Cookie Monster machine, that's Gary Miller down there on the inside. Then you got Ninja Turtles right there behind them, being driven by the number 2 of Tim Richardson. Down here off the back, down here through the front straightaway. Jeff Scott up there towards the front. Adam Sprinkle there in second. Side by side, as we said, for 5th and 6th. And on back, here comes that 23 of Eric White down there on the inside. of Levi Williams. That outside lane kind of falling back a little bit. They got to try to get some momentum build up, trying to get some of that side draft working here as they work down into corner number 3. Chris Melton there in 10th. Larry Pearman back here in 11th. A little bit of check up there out of the number 7, which forced the 89 back there to check up a little bit. Now they got to try to get it back here, and that was an optical illusion. I thought somebody was skating it on up tire number 4, but there's 2 cars there giving me that look. Dylan Grace back here. Looks like Manning and Hurst are out. And that's all I'm seeing right now. And I just see them battling there. There's Martin. Nope. Morton there in the 88 trying to work his way back up through. He's there behind Kylan Rowdy. But there's the gap back up here towards that front group with Justin Hollings there in 7th. Jeb Scott out there in the lead. Got a bumper full of Adam Sprinkle back there. Up there to the top side is Gary Miller in that Chips Ahoy Cookie Monster machine. Trying to get that Mustang up there towards the front, being pushed along there by the number 2 of Tim Richardson, and right behind him, that's that Wiggle machine. The Wiggles hitting that number 27 up there on the top side. Heading down here in the corner, number 3 and 4. Up there against the outside walls, that 01 of Levi Williams. We saw a couple drivers do that, like that 7 underneath it was Justin Hollings. They work down here through off of 2, down that back straightaway. Here in the corner, number 3 and 4, and there you see the gap back here to Morton. And just because it says they're out does not mean they're out, as I know Dylan Grace is out here on track back here. So, I mean, I don't understand why here at Rough Deck I'm having that issue with them dropping out like that, where it says they're out, but they are not out. I'm telling you that right now. They're not out, because you see piling back there. The only one I'm not getting a real time on is Tyler Manning, but as you see, Tyler Manning is out there. So everybody is on track here at lap number 16. Don't have anybody dropped out. And I can prove to you everybody is there. As Chris Melton, or I'm sorry, no, Jeff Scott going back up here is in the lead. Still has that bumper full. That top lane still trying to get organized. Here comes the 89 of Chris Melton now up there to the top side. 27 dropping down here to the inside now. They work on down here off the corner number 4, down across the stripe here. Gonna make it here, lap number 18. I'm sorry, no, we're on lap number 17. Working here through 1 and 2. At 40 machine trying to get a little bit of side draft to help them down that back straightaway. Almost going 3 wide there. They think better of it as the 15 now goes into the middle lane. Cookie Monster going there into the middle. Watch it, you don't squeeze it too hard as they come through turns 3 and 4. Track isn't as wide as Talladega. That's one thing. Talladega and Daytona, they're similar shapes, but Talladega is a little bit wider, if you ask me, through most other racetracks. Where Daytona's a little bit narrower, but about the same design all in all around. There's your seeing that number 6 machine down there on the inside of Wayne Isbell. Right behind him, that 31 up Brandon McKee. As we're here on board with Brandon McKee working down through the back stretch, heading into corner number 3. Just trying to hang on to whatever he can here. And yes, if you're tuning in here, I do realize the title was wrong. We are not at Atlanta, as I originally kind of screwed up and thought, thanks to my eyesight. But we're here at Daytona. That title will be changed back at the beginning, or at the ending of the live show. So if anybody's watching this afterwards, it should be changed. But originally it does read at Atlanta. And I can tell you right now, this is not Atlanta. They drive completely different. They're 2 different size racetracks. As you see that 89 down there on the inside of Chris Melton trying to work his way up there. That 2, Tim Richardson hanging on to the lead just for a moment. But here comes Gary Miller trying to eat his way up there to the front, bringing Cookie Monster with him. And down there on the inside at 99, Larry Fairman doing a great job up there on the high side here at lap number 20 as they head down here into corner number 1. Side by side they roll as they come rolling off into corner number, or coming off onto the backstretch. Tim Richardson out front there in the lead once again in that number 2 Ninja Turtles machine heading on down through the backstretch. Always interesting to see what the drivers have here as a paint scheme, and I really like the nods there, the little subtleness there on that Ninja Turtles machine. If anybody's picked up on it yet, around the numbers there is a circle around the numbers, both on top and on the doors. And I'm not sure if anybody's picked up on it, but on the side of the car down there, there is, right behind the number 2, is pizza on the side of the cars. And if you're looking from up top, I can't quite get a good shot of it. There up top, there's a good decent shot of it. It is a manhole cover to the sewers. A pretty cool nod there to the Ninja Turtles. At 27 back there for the Wiggles. Jimmy Pilon running way back here in the next group of cars, along with Mark Morton. Mark Morton having some issues there after getting caught up in a incident. Down here through off the corner, we see them fighting there for the top side. The 79 there of Matt Worrell. And here's just a kind of what can happen at a super speedway race, as, you know, it's anybody's race. These drafting tracks, it can pretty much be anybody's race. Right now, these top drivers, Tim Richardson up 21 spots. Chris Melton is up 25 spots. Jeff Scott up 21. Larry Fairman up 13. Really, the other one that, or only 2 up here in the top 5. Well, I guess it is the only one here in the top 5 that's really been here the whole race from the start, is Gary Miller. These other drivers here in the top 5 have just come out of nowhere and are sitting up here. Eric White, another one who started up here trying to work his way up into the top 5, and there he does so. Gary Miller falling back as that outside lane gets some movement. That Cookie Monster Chips Ahoy machine trying to do all it can here. They work here out of the corner. Coming there off of 4. Down across the stripe. It is going to be Larry Fairman to lead the way as we're here at halfway. How about we go ahead and try to heat it up? We're under caution here. Jeff Scott. There you see him skating down there across the bottom. That's the 89. Now you see that 99 up there at the top. Let's kind of figure out where Jeff Scott is. Oh, there he is. Getting turned there as they get sandwiched. Jeff Scott off track. Not really sure if anybody else ended up spun around there. Not really seeing any other contact. So caution number 2, it's out here at Daytona. Oh, shit. Having a caution at about halfway. And as we said, these drivers here towards the back, they're not out. They're just back here towards the back, and for some reason my timing does not want to counter them in. It looks like pit road is fitting to be a busy place. As they all come down here through pit road. Oh, the whole field's on pit lane. All 28 drivers here tonight. And surprisingly, everybody's still on the lead lap. And so, I mean, a very good night of racing. Everybody really doing a decent job. Not too bad. You know, the cautions we have really haven't torn the cars up too bad. So they were able to continue on. Head here off the corner. We got Larry Fairman, 25 laps to go. Larry Fairman coming out here to the lead. Eric White up here in the second, as you're on board with him. And I know this is most likely just me, but I wish we could choose whether we wanted an analog dash or a digital dash. And I guess that's just proof that somebody that's visually impaired probably should not be racing, because I can't read the digital dash. I can't read an analog dash either. I just learned where that needle's supposed to point. I can't tell you what the needle's pointing at, but I can tell where the needle's kind of facing. Gary Miller comes there in 7th. Brandon McKee back here in 8th. Wayne Isbell back here in 9th. Dakota Iskreek back here in 10th. Really great seeing all these drivers come out here for the season opener of the Super Speedway Series. As each week, these change, and it looks like we are looking at the trucks at Atlanta on 7/7. So we're off next week, which is great for me since I'm out of town. But we'll be back on the 7th. Hopefully the air cools off by then, or somehow I can come into an air conditioner. We'll see how that plays out. And I'm sweating here in the booth. One of the big reasons why I'm not on camera right now. So, here we go. Off the back stretch we go. Eric White up there on the top side. We got Larry Fairman down there on the inside. So for this restart, Fairman, our control car, is going to choose to be down there on the inside as they come here out of 2, heading on down that back straightaway. Going to get the green flag to go with 23 laps left to complete here at Daytona. Hopefully everybody's really enjoying the show here from Flicker Farm TV with On the Pole here. On the Pole doing a great job of really trying to bring the best show we can. Anybody has suggestions or anything how we can make the show better, just let us know. We'll do our best to make the show even better as time goes on, as we strive for excellence here. I always say I can't fix anything if I don't know what to fix. So somebody's like, well, this doesn't sound right. Well, then tell me. I'll fix it. Let me know. I'll get it fixed. I'm not stubborn. I'm not bullheaded. Well, maybe in some ways, but not in this. The only way I can give the viewers the type of viewing experience they would like to have is actually hear from the viewers themselves, so that we can give the best show we can. Here we come to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. 23 laps to go here at Daytona as they come down here side by side. Larry Fairman not getting quite the jump he needed down there on the inside. That top lane really shot out there. Eric White, Ryan Hunter now up there on the top side. Adam Sprinkle coming along as well as the front two drop down there in front of Fairman. Now Scott and Sprinkle are going to try to work together on that top side as they work down the backstretch. Everybody side by side, a little bit of blinky blink back here. Matt Warhol back here in about 17th position. In that number 79. Head on side by side. There you see the 23 of Eric White out front. The 27 of Ryan Hunter sitting in about 4th. As that outside lane getting together. Whoa, hang on to it there, Sprinkle. You don't want to lose it coming through that tri-oval. 22 laps to go here from Daytona. Working down here into corner number 1 once again. You see that 40 of Dakota Iskrig trying to make his way up there towards the front. And they come down the backstretch a little bit again into that outside wall, coming there off of the corner. And we've seen that a few times tonight as well, where these drivers are scraping that outside wall. One coming out of 2, and the second spot coming out of 4. So they're exiting these big corners here at Daytona. Some of them are just getting a little shade high and getting into that outside wall. As you see that number 20, McDonald's machine, or I'm sorry, M&M machine, not McDonald's, up there on the outside. Oh, and there they go, smash, and there it goes, one around, down there into the 79. That looks to be the 16, or let's see now, maybe, we'll see. There's the 20, the 17 of Mike Presley involved. That'll bring out caution number 3. So caution number 3 coming out. Try to figure out here if I can find where this is at. I know I got one marked. Do I got the other one? Trying to see here if I can find where this yellow flag is at to get us a replay. Replay coming up. Here we go. So we're 3 wide. You got Mike Presley down there on the bottom side. You got that 3 in the middle. They just end up getting squeezed up against that outside wall. Gets into it. Here comes that 3 back down. Catches the back quarter of Presley. Presley goes around, and flaps come up. Now the 5 there goes around of Sam Lucier. As Lucier goes down, he gets sandwiched. Oh, boy, 79. Lots of damage on Matt Warhol's machine. Now we see the 45 up there into the outside wall. So we got a few cars torn up now as Robert Healy missing a few parts. So definitely debris on the racetrack that'll need cleaned up here as they head back to racing with 20 laps to go. Now everybody coming here to pit road. You see the damage there on the 5. Down way at the bottom of your screen. That's the one bad part is if you're racing these super speedways, just a tiny little bit of aerodynamic problem is enough to knock you out. Great job there by the crew to get that the front bumper straightened out. I would see the 45 coming in, going to need to rebuild the front clip. If the team's got any left. We'll have to wait and see if Healy's team has anything to help that car get back on the racetrack. Got Ace up here in 12. Rowdy here in 13. Eric White leading the race at that number 23, so he'll be your control car. It'll be interesting. We've seen some of these control cars go and take the top side of the racetrack, and in some of these control cars taking the bottom lane of the racetrack. Now, usually the drivers like taking that top lane, hoping they got the teammate behind them or a helper behind them to push them along, getting a decent jump and getting able to bring both of the outside cars that are working together down in front, down to the bottom side. That is the ideal situation. That don't always work though. Now we got one coming back on the pit road. Matt Warhol looking like he was going to come down. Jackson Wilson trying to figure out, oh, it's Larry Fairman that's coming down on the pit road. Got Eric White up here in front. Side by side, get ready for the restart. We'll take the green flag with 17 laps to go. As we said, this is our third caution. Eric Copperthorne here in fourth. Well, Jeff Scott up there in fourth. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. 17 laps to go here for the James Wagner Welding Super Speedway Series. As they head on down here in the corner number 1. Everybody's sitting there. There you got the 98 trying to get up there. Here in the corner number 1, side by side. Jeff Scott up there to the outside there behind the 12 of Dylan Grace. Eric White there in second. Down here through the corner. Adam Sprinkle there in 6th. Liam Beebe in 7th. Ryan Hunter back here in 8th. As they head on down through here, there you see the 98 of Eric Copperthorne. Down there on the inside, Eric White coming up there in front. Down here through off of the corner. And through corner number 1 and 2 they go. Back out here onto that. Oh, I'm sorry, they're coming through 3 and 4. Back out here onto the front stretch. A little wiggle out of that number 12 machine, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier in the race. Whenever I was seeing them kind of moving around, there's a lot of movement in these Arca cars as you see them try to gain that speed, gain that momentum, and that could sometimes spell disaster as you see that 83 back there going up and down, kind of not staying in a straight enough line, in my opinion, which it's very, very difficult to do. Hang on to it, because you start trying to draft that person behind you. As we see that 12 now drops down there. Jeff Scott's going to stay up. That very well could let Scott get up there and battle against Dylan Grace. Dylan Grace there in front of Eric White as they battle it down on the inside. Dakota Iskrig up there on the outside here coming to the line. 15 laps to go. Down here in corner number 1. Side by side, you got Dylan Graves there in front. Jeff Scott up 22 position. Oh, no. Oh, boy. That could have been disastrous. Coming there off of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Side by side, Jeff Scott up there on the high side, and there is disaster as Ace ends up in the outside wall. Oh no, there they go. Now Ace gets shoved down. He's going in for a ride down there into the inside wall there with the 89. They bring it together, locked up there, Chris Melton and Ace. Square dancing down here through the infield. Yellow flag back out for the 4th time. Oh, here you see it coming there off the back stretch. You'll see Ace up there, gets up in front, just ends up not clearing and comes up across the nose. Drivers try to steer, try to check up. Not enough room to check up as the closing speed can sometimes just be that quick. Now you see the 6 there getting involved. Wayne Isbell. The 2 there. Tim Richardson getting spun around. Man, oh man. We're back here, Daytona, showing its problems. Now you see Chris Melton damage there on the front end of that machine. 14 laps to go. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagner Welding. Wagner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
All right, back here from the Speedway. Looks like 12 down there on the apron, just trying to save a little bit of fuel. Eric Carpenter in there. We'll go ahead with a grid run through here. Dylan Grace out front as your leader. Jeff Scott second. Dakota Isgrig there in third. Eric Carpenter fourth. Liam Beebe sitting here in fifth. Adam Sprinkle sixth. Ryan Hunter seventh. Gary Miller eighth. Levi Williams ninth. Tylen there in 10th. As they come working there across the line. You do have a driver down in the pits. That was Tyler Manning coming out. And Sam Lucier down there. Robert Healy trying to figure out if he's here or if he is truly out in that number 45. And it looks like he is the only one truly out. And we get doubled up here. Lights are out. Dylan Grace down there on the inside has your control car. Now, Jeff Scott, he did a pretty decent job starting on the outside before, and he's got the 98 of Eric Copperthorne there behind him. So that'll be an interesting duo up there on the top side. Can they work together to push ahead of Dylan Grace and get that lead? We will have to see as the race progresses here. Coming there off the back stretch, heading down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Lights are out. Brad will pull that pace car down on the pit road. Barney will get that green flag ready once again. When these drivers hit that restart zone in that front stretch there in that tri-oval, then they will, or I guess right before the tri-oval here at Daytona. As the start-finish line is in the middle of the tri-oval here at Daytona, whereas Talladega, it's after it. So it's a little bit longer. As Talladega, that start-finish line is halfway between the tri-oval and turn 1, where here at Daytona, it splits the tri-oval. Super Speedway tracks always giving some great racing action, especially if we can keep them side by side like that. So there you see Cookie Monster in that number 15, Gary Miller, working his way up there towards the front. Once again, as he's sitting there in 8th. Fell back there throughout the race. Now he's trying to work his way back up there. And they get going. That inside lane, that great start there by Dylan Graves. So they work down here. And oh no, caution's coming out once again. As we got that number 17, Mike Presley, sideways. They're off the start. Another look at it here. You'll see there are 3 wide there. Here comes the 17. Going to try to get to the outside, but the 23 is already there. That's just going to pick that 17 up and kind of spin him around, scooch him around, send him around. The 23, they're both disappeared off of my screen here. Eric White is involved. There you've seen that action there. We'll go back live here. Ten laps to go. As Dylan Grace, our leader, did a great job on the restart, getting out front ahead of those around him. Getting caught back up to the pace car. Dakota Iskrick back here in 4th. Liam Beebe there 5th. Adam Sprinkle in the 77 back here in 6th with that James Wagner welding sponsor. Gary Miller back here with that Cookie Monster. Mark Morton back here in at number 10. There you see Rowdy sitting at 11th. And at Jimmy Johns, number 29. Possibly go green with about 7 to go. Robert Monday on pit road. Jack Wilson on pit road. As the pit road is kind of busy for some of the crews. We got Robert Monday coming out in that number 57. There you see the 31, Brandon McKee. Lights go out. We're getting ready to go. Green flag racing once again. So we'll take the green. It's 7 to go. Coming here out of turn 3 and 4. Green flag in the air, 7 laps to go, here we go. Everybody's looking good as you're watching Jeff Scott there come through turns 3 and 4. Down here across that front stretch, coming down towards the front stretch. I'm sorry, no, back stretch. Oh, man, I'm getting turned around here as they get going here, getting up to speed. After that caution going 3 wide as you got the 0-1 there. Levi Williams up there on the outside, heading down here into corner number 3. He has to fall back in line. Got him up there, getting into that outside wall there. As that 12 with Dylan Gray's great restart there as he gets out front. He's got Eric Carpenter now behind him. Liam Beebe falls back there to about third as he's trying to lead that top lane. I'm sorry, no, Jeff Scott's trying to lead that top lane. Liam Beebe down there at third spot on the bottom. And that purple number 83 for Taco Bell. That number 27 of Ryan Hunter. He's done a fairly good job here tonight as he's up here in about 6th. Bringing up there that little wiggle machine. Way up there to that outside walls, that Ally machine. Trying to figure out who that Ally is. And you see the number 2 there working it. Oh boy, getting it as they almost go 4 wide. There you see the one, that driver there in the middle, that number 31, Brandon McKee, fighting his way up there towards the front as they come down here towards the start-finish line. 5 laps to go. Everybody's really starting to get antsy, trying to force their way up here towards the front. As McKee's there in the middle, nowhere to go there for the 27 as he gets up there. And oh no, hang on, and there goes Rowdy around along with the 3. That's going to bring another caution. It's going to be possibly a green-white checker here to finish this one out. Most likely a natural green-white checker. And see that 3 getting loose there and around. We'll see what happened there to Johnny Hurst. And we saw Pilon get caught up in it. And as we said before, Pilon doesn't always have the best of luck here at these super speedways. As you'll see them there, they all kind of battle it around. And they're, well, no, I wanted a look at here at Rowdy. There you see Rowdy there. Now there you can see the 27 kind of pushing up the racetrack, bringing that 31 up. That's going to push that 78 there up the racetrack of Tyler Manning. Tyler Manning's going to come back down it, but already the 29 Rowdy is sideways, and oh man, netcode brings the 3 around. That's what shot the 3 around, is that netcode issue between the 29 and the 3. Oh man, that sucks. Johnny Hurst taking a ride he didn't need to take. And then the front end takes it off there with the 15. Cookie Monster coming in and eating that grill off of the number 3. See if we can get a better look here. No, it's not that big of a wreck, but it's definitely, and it's definitely not unexpected or unheard of here with this few laps. Just sucks for somebody like Jeff or Johnny Hurst, who kind of thought maybe he had it cleared, and then his netcode just comes out and kicks him up and spins him around. There's nothing that Hurst could have done there. Pilot was already sideways, so I can't even blame Pilot on that. So it is going to be a green-white checker. Now you have 3 laps to go. Here is the 6th caution. And honestly, when we're talking super speedways here at On the Pool, we say that our average is about 8. We average about 8 cautions out of super speedway. I mean, I don't get too upset with the cautions of super speedways. Where I get upset is when I've done dirt race broadcasting in the past, and 40 laps on a half-mile dirt track, that gets a little monotonous whenever the drivers seem they can't run more than a couple laps, because those laps, unlike here where the laps are counted under caution, on dirt track, they're not. Those laps do not count unless it is green flag conditions. So having wrecks in a dirt track can make for a long night. It's Greg out there as your leader. Jeff Scott up there on the outside. Lights go up. Green-white checker here for the race tonight. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed the racing action. Again, if anybody's watching and wants to give any pointers or tips here to us at Flicker Farm TV to bring you even better action, let us know. We'll do our best to incorporate that in the future. But in all honesty, I don't know if we've seen the last caution. We're green-white checker here. Then we're going to take the green. That'll be 2 to go. Come back around. That'll be 1 to go. Mark Morton worked his way back up here. He led a few laps earlier in the race. Now he's sitting up here in 3rd. Dylan Grace, he's done a great job here tonight. Jeff Scott doing a really great job. Up here 23 spots from where he started. Been hanging around the front for a good portion of the race after he got up here. Adam Sprinkle here in 4th. Dylan Grace here in 5th. Eric Copperthorne there in 6th. As they head on down through off the corner here Brad will pull down on the pit lane. That'll turn the field over to Dakota Iskrig. They hit that restart box. They're down and away. Great start there from that inside lane. Mark Morton getting up there. He's going to do all he can on that bottom side. Heading down here into corner number 1. 2 laps to go. Everybody's just waiting to get up to full song here. Now as they work into the corner. Whoa, hang on to it, Scott. They're getting a little close. And there you can see it. Real close, bumper to bumper there in the 77. Adam Sprinkle pushing as hard as he can up there on the top side of the racetrack. Now the top side gets rolling well. And there you see it. Oh no, yep, there's the caution. More drivers around. Matt now involved. There's the 83 of Liam Beebe involved. The 2 of Tim Richardson. Unsure if he was involved. He is now. Man, oh man. Caution number 7. We'll take another attempt here. Oh, here they go, off the corner. Fighting hard. Tyler Manning there. And it's 78. There you see the 89 coming down. Oh, man, what a hit there to the 78. Really destroys the front end of that machine. The 89 then goes back up across the track. There you see Matt Ace getting involved, getting hit a few times there from the 83. Then up into the outside wall. Smoke all around. Levi Williams involved. Tyler Manning way down there on the bottom side. Man, oh man, not the way you want to end here at Daytona with all that work. Struggling just to survive up to this point. So we're going to take another stab at another green-white checker here. Hey, drivers do what they can to kind of work it off. Mark Morton, now your control car. Jeff Scott there in second. Adam Sprinkle third. Dakota Iskrig there in fourth. Eric Carpethorne there fifth. Brandon McKee there in sixth as they continue to work down off of the corner. As they head on out. Lights are on. Fred's having a pretty busy ending to this one. As the 7th caution. There you see Cookie Monster sitting back here in 12th, Gary Miller. There's the 98, the 17, who struggled some bit. There's the number 6, Coors Machine, driven by Wayne Isbell, something like that. Mike Presley. Again, we apologize for not getting the qualifying in here on the stream, and we missed the first 3 laps of the race. We had some technical issues with getting our cameras loaded up. Maybe the heat was playing a little bit of a factor here tonight. Looks like they're going to double up this time, baby. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we're going single file here to finish this one out. Nope, there they go. There they're doubling. I was wondering there for a moment. Gonna get interesting. Side by side, 3 laps to go. Will be 2 when we take the green flag. So we got another attempt at a green-white checker coming up. Everybody works here off the corner. Side by side, you got Jeff Scott up there to the outside. Mark Morton down there on the inside. Behind Jeff Scott is that number 40 at Dakota Iskry. Then you got Eric Copperthorne there in 5th. Adam Sprinkle up there on the down on the inside behind Morton. So you got some pretty strong drivers hanging out here. And they work there through turn 3 and 4 once again, waiting on the restart. Hopefully the drivers you came, they'll come and watch, are still in it. Red goes off. We're getting ready to go green. Green flags in the air. Here we go. Down across the start-finish line. Now we head on down in the corner number 1. Side by side there for about 3rd and 4th. Jeff Scott and Mark Morton are operating up there on the top side, trying to keep everything together. Morton knows how quick Jeff Scott can be. They all stack up there coming down the backstretch, just waiting to see if we can capture that white flag. Working down here in the corner number 3 and 4. There you see Jack Wilson. Well, hang on to it. They got 3 wide there. Cookie Monster in the middle. Up there into the top corner. Here we go. Dr. Pepper up there in that number 40 of Dakota Iskry, working up there that top side. Adam Sprinkle down there on the inside. Down here across, it is white flag. It is official now. So now anything will go, and there you see it. They're wrecking in the back. Here they go, running up here towards the front. Jeff Scott there in 2nd. Mark Morton there in front. Here comes Brandon McKee down there on the inside. Who's Morton going to go and try to block? As looks like McKee's got all kind of, and there goes the 40. Spun out of line down across the infield as they work on down here. Now, boy, look out. Here comes piling up to the bumper of the 17. That could be trouble. Rowdy now gets up there in the 5th, working there in the 4th. Adam Sprinkle now up there in the 3rd. He's working down there on the bottom side. Look out as Jeff Scott's coming up there in 2nd, coming through the tri-oval. Here we go, across the line. It is going to be Mark Morton, Jeff Scott 2nd, and Mike Presley there in 3rd. Man, oh man, what a finish here tonight. Now we just wait on the grid to come across the line. Here you see Wayne Isbell, Dylan Grace coming across, Dakota Iskry. After being spun out, he's going to end up finishing back here in about 20th. Sam Lucier, he's going to finish in about 21st. Eric Copperthorne, Tim Richardson back there towards the back. Just waiting on the results to come in. Results come in. It's going to be Mark Morton for the win. Jeff Scott there 2nd. Mike Presley 3rd. Levi Williams 4th. Adam Sprinkle 5th. Jack Wilson there in 6th. Jimmy Pilon there in 7th. Brandon McKee there in 8th. Gary Miller there in 9th. Justin Hollings there in 10th. Matt Barker, otherwise known as Ace, there in 11th. Tyler Manning there 12th. Liam Beebe in 13th. Robert Monday there 14th. Nathaniel Briner there in 15th. Ryan Hunter 16th. In 17th, that is Wayne Isbell. And then in 18th, and Dylan Grace, 19th, going to Eric White. Dakota Isgrake there in 20th. Sam Lucier there in 21st. Eric Coppersthorne 22nd. Tim Richardson 23rd. Chris Melton 24th. Larry Fairman 25th. 26th going to Johnny Hurst. Matt Warhol in 27th. And Robert Healy there in 28th. That is your finishing order here tonight. Now we'll see if we can get with our victory winners here. Man, oh man, what a finish. And that happens, their Royal Mudkip, anything's possible. I don't count anybody out at these super speedways. It's so crazy to think that you can go from so far back and still get a top 5, finish. We'll go and get with the drivers here in just one quick moment. Mike Presley, our third place finisher. Okay, if we can find them, there we go. Good evening there, Mike. How's it going?
Good, buddy, good. I'm just a happy man, buddy.
Well, you got third. How'd you feel coming into the first race of the season tonight?
Well, I feel really good, placing third. I mean, top 5. I mean, you just can't go wrong with that.
Did you think you had a top 5 car coming into tonight?
I did. I just got into some, a few incidents there, and finally there on that after that last caution, I said, well, a few people had to go in to get some fuel. I kept moving up a few spots. I felt pretty good, got up there to somewhere 12 or what, and then had a good start down there on that, up there on that top line, and got a good push from, I believe it, Jimmy, they pushed me there and got me up front and passed a few cars, so it just all turned out good.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was a great run out there for you.
Yeah, I'd
just
come up that last turn there and kind of got on that high side. It was moving pretty good. I said, yeah, I'm gonna pass all these boys.
I mean,
good enough, got me a 3.
You definitely had a great night. You got third, so congrats with that. You got sponsors. Shout out anybody you want to thank for helping you get up there into.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got sponsor shout outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting into third?
Yeah, just really the league. Just appreciate them and all the hard work they do to keep a good league going like this, and appreciate them and looking forward to the next race.
All right, well, you go from the Arca cars here at Daytona this week, and then in a couple weeks we're going to Atlanta with the trucks. What do you think your odds are there?
Oh, just even better. I let my vehicle is a truck. I guarantee you I'm going to be just as competitive as then. Looking forward to it.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night there, Mike, and we look forward to seeing you in future races.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
All right, I have Mike Presley. Now we'll get with Jeff Scott, our second place finisher. Good evening, Jeff. How's it going?
You make me happy. How's it going?
It's going well. I mean, what a night for you. You come up 23 spots to get up there in the second position. Kind of take us through.
Yeah.
What type of work did you have to do to try to pull that off?
I was just fast. That's about all. I'm about the best there is. No, it's just being persistent and just trying to keep pace and being patient. You know, even at the end there, Mark Morton was a teammate, so I knew he was going to get the jump, and that was our plan. And even at the end, I wasn't going to fight him because he's a teammate. That's not what I do. So we made sure that we were going to get first and second no matter what. Our other teammate crashed out, I think he finished 10th, Justin Hollins. So, yeah, no, it's just being patient and persistent and, you know, not afraid to go against someone's doors. That's where it needs to be.
Well, I know there was a few drivers that kind of struggled tonight, but, I mean, you'll have that here at these super speedway drafting tracks, especially these two super speedways of Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Especially Daytona, you know, it's usually 2 wide. You can go 3 wide, but depending on some of the drivers, it gets a little hairy. And, you know, it's me. I was fortunate to be up front most of the race, so everything happened in my rearview mirror. But I didn't get to see too much. So when the yellows flew, I didn't know. I just heard it on the radio. So I was lucky tonight. Hopefully, I'll be lucky next week too. But yeah.
Well, we take on the trucks at Atlanta next week.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll be. Hopefully, there'll be a lot of trucks out there because that's a quick race, quick track.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's not next week. It's the week after. You have the week of the 4th off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much room to mess around on that one, but it's an interesting track. For sure.
Oh, most definitely, and it can still be anybody's race.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's always anybody's race on these draft tracks because we don't know what's going to happen. First can end up being last. But I do like to extend a thank you to James Wagner himself and James Wagner's Welding. And I'd like to thank my daughter Jasmine and my wife Amber. And you, Flieger, for doing what you do. And Timmy, I'd like to thank Timmy for running this league because he does a lot. You know, he's here all the time and puts a lot of effort into it, calls people if necessary. So, you know, behind the scenes, that boy does a lot of work too.
Yeah, I don't know if people realize how much work goes on behind the scenes of these racing leagues that go on.
They don't. Even race controlling, you know, I lost a teammate to race control, you know, Dougie, and it kind of sucks because it's weird, but you know, he's watching all the cars and finding out who's causing the wrecks and who goes in the back, and it's a hectic thing to do when there's 30 cars out there. You can't watch them all at once, so you have to go back and look, and there's a lot of things, and sponsors paying for the broadcasts, you know, that's a big deal. And once again, James Wagner himself, just what a man, incredible guy.
He is, and a great guy to work with too.
Yep.
So
great guy to hang out with. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever have that chance, as I'm up here in Pennsylvania, he's down in North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
So, but congrats on second place tonight. Do you have any other thank yous or shout outs you want to give here?
No, I think I've covered them all, and no, thank you. You know, once again, and absolutely thanks James Wagner's Welding, because without it, we wouldn't be seeing it, right? So that's really all I've got tonight. So you have a good night, my man.
All righty, you too, Jeff. Enjoy your second place. Hopefully, you can try to better that at Atlanta here in 2 weeks.
Well, sometimes you just got to put a little Brian on it, and you're good to go. So have a good night, man.
You too, Jeff. All right, now we'll get with our winner, Mark Morton. Mark Morton, how's Victory Lane treating you tonight?
It feels good, brother. I'm getting showered in champagne.
Well, you had a great race. I know you ended up having to work through that field a couple times, but I mean, you did it okay and kept that car in one piece, which is a major feat here at these super speedway races.
Yeah, I got after that first caution, I got a little damage, and went down, fixed it. Then I was going good. Another caution came out. Went down pit road to get some fuel, and just so I can make it and start saving to make it to the end. Then I I lose packet loss, so I get kicked out of the race, jump back in, go a lap down, and then like 5 laps later, a caution comes out. Get the lucky dog, drive my way through the field, and thanks to my good, phenomenal teammate Jeff Scott, we were able to pull out 1-2.
Well, you did a great job getting that car up there, and you look like you were pretty quick tonight getting that car adjusted where you needed it. Great run. You got sponsor shout-outs or anybody you want to thank for helping you get that victory tonight?
Yes, sir, my bad. I was pulling my mic out. Definitely you for taking time out of your day to broadcast. The good Lord above for blessing me with another win and a great way to start off season 7. My teammate Jeff for helping me out. Dougie for sponsoring the league. Wish he was out racing tonight, but instead he wanted race control. So I'm okay with that. My beautiful wife and kids who are not at home, which is peaceful, but I do miss them, and they'll be up here Saturday. Everybody in the league, everybody who took time out of their evening to come out and race to help the league. I love each and every one of these guys like a brother, and I always enjoy racing with them, and they bring the best out of me. And for future references, they might not want to do that anymore because I'm hoping to go back to back on Wednesday and maybe next week if I'm able to make it.
You definitely did a great job, and look forward to seeing what you have going forward here in the Super Speedway Series. The way this series works, we change tracks and change cars every week. So in 2 weeks when we come back, we're going to have we're going to be at Atlanta with the trucks. What's your feelings about that?
Well, that's hometown. That's hometown racing right there. Can you my Discord? Can you hear me?
Do you think you'll be set and ready to go for the Atlanta race?
Yeah. Adam, can you hear me, brother? I just want to make sure you can hear me.
I can hear you okay. I don't know how it sounded on the broadcast, but you do seem to be a little bit of an echo there at times.
My bad. My Discord went dark, so my bad. I just want to make sure I'm good.
Oh, you're. I think we're hearing you okay.
Good. Atlanta's hometown for me. Even though I live in Colorado now. I love restricted plate racing. It keeps you on edge, and it can be frustrating at times, but you definitely learn how to side draft, how to tandem draft, how to pull a line back. And Atlanta, it can be loose depending on how either if we run day or night. But it's definitely going to be interesting to run with all these guys. Because like I said, they bring the best out of we all bring the best out of each other, and obviously it can be hard sometimes because Lady Luck doesn't run your way. But I know I'm gonna give it my all, just like all these other drivers, and hopefully again I can go back to back.
Alrighty, well we'll see. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks on the 7th of July when we go back racing. Congrats again on that victory tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, that was Mark Morton, our top finisher here tonight, sitting there in victory lane. Thank you all for coming out and watching. And it's been a great night here at Daytona. And I know, like I said, a little bit of title snafu there at the beginning, but we're here, we're good. Hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of your night. And stay tuned to Fleeger Farm TV. We're going to be signing off here from Atlanta, and then we're going GT3 racing with Freedom Motorsport Alliance. So stay tuned here in another 20 minutes. 20 minutes to a half hour, we'll be racing GT3s. So that should be a great night there. Thank you all for watching, and have yourself a great, great night.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only thing.